Welcome back to Battalion Marching Orders. This week's guest is second-year blue liner James Mayotte of the North Bay Battalion. First off, James, we've got some details kind of on the upcoming season. Looks like it'll be a little shorter, still things to be ironed out, but just your thoughts on just knowing that there is a possibility that you'll be playing this year.
Yeah, like you said, like it took quite a while to get us a for sure start date, but now that we have that, it's pretty exciting. Everybody's itching to get back into the game and start playing again. So I think just having a solidified date, gives us a lot of motivation and get back on the ice and work towards a new season.
Well, you've had a lot of time to work with in the off season here, a pretty extended one. How have you been keeping busy?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when we first got back, I didn't think it was going to be this long. I thought we were going to go right back, but I took some time to myself and spent some time with my family. And then I started to get right back into things. And, it's been pretty extended. So I just try to keep myself busy, staying on the ice and in the gym and working on myself.
Any new weird hobbies you picked up with all the spare time?
I found myself watching a little bit too much Netflix, but now I'm getting it back on track.
Hey, that's hardly a new hobby there. Come on.
Exactly.
Let's get into your playing career and your upbringing in hockey. What are some of your first memories around the game?
First memories, I'd say when I first got into hockey, I have a few brothers, and one of my favorite things was when I got the chance to be on a team with one of them. So it was usually my older brother and my younger brother I'd be sharing the ice with, and that's usually my fondest and youngest memories when we were on the same ice pad together.
So it sounds like you were a full hockey family, though. It's like every day seems to be.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of credit to my parents. They do most of the running around, and they did. All my years growing up, there's four of us, all boys, and we all play sports, whether it's hockey or something else. So, yeah, it was a pretty hockey-oriented family, but I'd say we still are.
Did you pick up any other sports besides hockey?
Growing up, my dad always tried to make sure I was, open to everything, whether it was sports or another hobby. And so, yeah, when I was growing up in the summers, a lot I'd play just about anything with my friends, whether it was basketball or soccer or baseball, but hockey was always the most passionate one for me.
At what point did you realize that you could maybe go somewhere with it?
I'd say it was always from the start for me. I mean, it was something I had a lot more passion for than anything else in my life. I always loved the game, and yeah, it must have been an early age when I just said, this is what I want to do with my life. So I started taking it really seriously and tried to take it somewhere.
Have you always been a defenseman?
Yeah, that's right.
So you made a pretty risky move and you went to Minnesota for high school. You went to Shattuck St. Mary's. Certainly no shortage of NHL talent coming out of that, chief among which, Sidney Crosby is a pretty good example. Take me through your decision to go to the United States to play some prep school hockey.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously it's not any Ontario or even Canadian players, typical route in the hockey careers, but obviously Shattuck St. Mary's is a fairly renowned school, and it was just an option. It was another option, and at that young age, I just wanted to explore and maybe take a different path and see what I could do. And luckily, Shattuck came knocking on the door, and it was pretty awesome for me and my family, especially me, to be able to experience all that and the different caliber over in the U.S. and a whole lot of new friends and different style and just a great opportunity.
How scary is that going to, a new country, pretty much by yourself to go to high school of all things too?
Yeah, it was definitely something different. I mean, it was a new school, new team, just knew everything. And yeah, at first it was really scary but I knew it would pay off in the end, and it was just something I'd have to go through, and eventually the transition just became fairly smooth for me, and it translates into a lot of things because nowadays you're never really in the same place for very long. So I spent 2 years there, and then by the time I came to the OHL, I was prepared and ready for making new changes.
Yeah, you were drafted as a 5th round draft pick. I want to get you take me through your draft day experience coming into the OHL. Did you get picked about where you thought you were, and were you expecting to come to North Bay?
Yeah, that's an interesting story. For sure, like me being in the U.S., of course, it's always a dream for me to have been drafted and eventually play in the OHL, and so it was in the back of my mind for sure, and I was hoping it would go well. And I had talked to a few teams before, and North Bay was the more prominent one, and I had a feeling if I were to get drafted, that would be the team. But that day I was still in Minnesota. I was playing a game, so in the middle of the game, we went to the dressing room for the intermission, and one of my buddies says, "Mayotte, you got drafted." And I said, "Where?" And he goes, "North Bay." And then I had a quick little smile and a congratulations to myself, and then I had to get back out on the ice, but it was good.
Did you use that little extra bit of energy for the rest of the game there too?
Yeah, that might have been my best game I played all season.
So then, I mean, coming in as a 5th-round pick, I mean, not a whole lot of expectations on you, but yet you managed to suit up for 50 games last season, and you managed to notch 9 points in the process. Take me through your rookie season from your point of view, some of the emotions you were feeling, some of the memories that stick out to you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think a lot of guys going into their rookie season, including me, have a lot of expectations for yourself, and everything's just different. You know, the OHL is a very talented league, and everybody's really good, and a lot of times it's hard to make the difference that you're expecting yourself to make. So on that standpoint, it gets a little tough mentally, but you just got to go in, you know, being open and have your mind open and always just trying to get better. And for me, that was the big thing, just trying to learn. And I found the more I got open to making mistakes and even learning, the better I'd get with just my play overall, and my teammates and our captains really helped me do that, and especially our coaches too.
Now, it was an unconventional year for a lot of reasons, but we'll start with a bit of the organizational change-up that happened midway through the year. Coach and GM switching positions, and as a rookie, like how do you handle that? Because you probably heard about the history that Stan Butler had in the with the facility, but what as a rookie, how do you handle that, knowing that there's a lot of history here, but it kind of changed on you?
Yeah, for sure. That thing it was tough, I'd say, for most of the team for a little bit. And obviously Stan Butler is very renowned. He was a very good coach, and he helped us. And I think the biggest thing was our team just, you know, sticking together and trying to handle that situation as professional as possible. And our new coaching staff that came in, Ryan Houlihan, he really handled things well. And nothing's really going to go as planned. Like it's never really a straight line and the way you want things to go. And that was a perfect example. So I think we took it in and we made the best of it with what we did.
Do you remember your first OHL goal?
Yeah, I do actually. We were playing against Ottawa. It was in North Bay, of course, which I was super happy about. And Ottawa is kind of a hometown for me. So that was a little nice. And we were on the power play, and this sounds cliche, but I had a real good feeling that day when I woke up. Maybe it was what I ate. And then Kyle Jackson, and just a buddy I grew up with, of course, we had the chemistry, and came around the net, and I knew what he was thinking. He knew what I was thinking, and I creeped down the side, and he hit me, and I got it.
It's funny because I think Kyle's first OHL goal also came against Ottawa, but it might have been in Ottawa too. So it's interesting that you guys had that connection against the 67s of all teams there.
Ottawa does to us, I guess. I don't know.
And then, so coming off of a fairly good rookie season that you had, you're coming onto a blue line that looks to have a lot of competition this year, but you have that season of experience. Where do you see yourself slotting into the lineup here coming into this season?
Yeah. The competition on the blue line it's tough, but I think that's what is going to help us strive. And all of us as defensemen, there's always somebody that you're competing with. And my biggest goal for the season is to just really try and be consistent and fit in all situations that I can, and have the coaches trust me in every position and situation that they can.
How would you describe your game as a defenseman?
Well, obviously you gotta get the defense first down pat, and that's a big part of, you know, all defensemen's games. But I think something that helps me stand out as a D is I got a little more offensive minded, and sometimes it can get me into a little bit of trouble, but I don't want to leave that part of my game. So I just got to work on balancing them both out. But I like the offense.
What if you could take an attribute from one NHL defenseman right now? What would it be to add to your game?
Well, my favorite player is Quinn Hughes, and he's a defenseman as well. So I think it would be his, you know, playmaking and ability and his skating. He always knows where everybody is and what the next play is, and things seem to come to him more than he's going to it. So I like that.
Now, this is a question I like to ask defensemen too. Are you more of a PK Subban, tickle the rafters on the windup, clap bomb from the point kind of guy? Or are you more of like a John Klingberg, just funnel the pucks through the legs into traffic kind of player?
I think I've experienced both in my career, and the Subban looks a lot nicer when you're going for it. But I think just anything where you can get the puck to, that's usually more efficient because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get the Subban shot off, even though you'd like to.
And just what can Battalion fans expect from the troops this year if they tune into some games?
Yeah, they can expect a lot. I mean, last season, we had a pretty young team, and that was evident. And the good thing and the great thing was the fans always stuck by our side. So they're staying loyal to us. And this year, I think they can expect just a lot more flair, a lot more excitement. We're not changing much up on the team, it doesn't seem like. And so it's just a lot of the same players that brought them the success before. And we're a little more mature, we're a little bigger, we're a little stronger. So a couple more wins, hopefully, and then we'll see where we go with that.
James Mayotte of the North Bay Battalion, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks a lot for having me.